A little bit of backstory before I begin. This was originally going to be a co-op with Evil Necrosphere, but we both had things going on in real life, and we were having a hard time working on the script, so I'm going to take Necker's material and cover it for myself, if she doesn't mind. Hopefully she doesn't. What material is that? It's Kurome and Towa's video on Umbrus' video on Blazing Larvesta's video on Projared. Yeah, multi-degree commentary. And yes, I'm aware that Pink Robot covered the same video, but there were several issues I wanted to expand upon, and something she missed. With that out of the way, let's begin.
Santiago.
This intro isn't bad, it's just bland. I will say that I'm glad it's short, but there is almost nothing to keep the audience's attention in here. And all it really dies down to is pictures with text. See guys, this is why I don't design intros for my commentaries. Okay, post-Dwebbly here. I forgot to mention how Kurome could keep the audience's attention. And to do so, you'd probably have to use special effects and keyframing. Are we good? We good.
Santiago.
La di 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 da. Oh no, a car. Shoot, now I am in Kill Land. It was bound to happen at some point.
Well, yeah, obviously, given that it's become the most overused cliche to be used in the CC, and doing anything else is too much work.
I will admit that Killland is very overused, but that shouldn't matter as long as you can do something new with it. Though you never straight up said that using cliches is inherently a bad thing, you did say using anything else is too much work, which kind of implies that. And you also cut out a part of his video without using a skip card, which you even prove later that you have the capacity to use one.
It was bound to happen at some point. So now I am Hiyoko? Can you stop calling me that? And also, please change my avatar back to my Rhythm Heaven trash. Also, who are you? So, you're that movie? Well, this is gonna be fun. Wait, Blazing Larvesta? I will
So, if you cut stuff out, either tell the audience you're skipping, or use a skip card.
Santiago.
So, this is a rather unusual scenario we have here. Today I'm doing a commentary on a Halloween top 10 made by none other than famed gaming YouTuber Projared.
So at first I thought you said fake, but then I realized it was fame. You need to fix your mic quality, as this will actually be important in a later interjection I'll actually make.
I think you might need to fix your ears, because I heard him just fine. Legit, how you heard fake in this clip is beyond me. But you know what? Even if somehow this was actually the case, even if it did sound like he said fake, his mic quality wouldn't be the issue to point out here. That would be his ability to enunciate, which again, is fine here.
Good for you! There's just one thing. The fact that you can understand Larvesta clearly does not refute the fact that Umbrus couldn't. At the end of the day, this is just countering one subjective issue with another. That doesn't work. At all.
Now, I'll be honest, I actually really like Projared as a content creator, and it honestly kind of hurts having to expose his mistakes, especially after what he's had to deal with IRL. But at the same time, this video really hit some of the wrong buttons for me. I mean, to be fair, I don't necessarily hate this video per se, but after watching it through a few times, I did notice a few mistakes here and there. Jared, if you're watching this, hello, I'm Blazing Larvesta. Today, I will be providing a critique of your top 10 scariest grudge enemies not from horror games list, pointing out mistakes you made in your video, and giving you advice on how to improve future works. Please note that I may make a few jokes that may come off as hurtful or insulting to you, but in the end, said jokes are purely made for entertainment purposes, and I do not actually wish any ill will towards you. With that said, I hope you enjoy my video.
Alright, there is a lot to unravel here. First of all, did you keep us an abridged version of this in your disclaimer?
A disclaimer that you didn't show, mind you.
The link in the description is only there to see the original source material. Do not, under any circumstances, go to these people to flame them. I don't support witch hunts, lynch mobbing, or flame wars, so don't do any of those. As for the subjects themselves, my video is for the purpose of criticism and entertainment. Take it or leave it. My content is not here to start drama. Please do not treat it like it is.
And second of all, this goes on for way too long. All of this was unnecessary padding.
Also, why are you acting like Jared is going to watch this? Hate to crush your dreams, buddy, but a YouTuber as big as Jared is likely will not even watch this.
Funny. You mentioned padding. And look what you're doing with this useless third point that didn't need to be here. At least with the point on the disclaimer, sure, I can see where you're coming from. And the point on the length of the segment, sure, okay. But this third point could have been cut out and nothing would be lost here.
Let's ignore the fact that there is an unlikely chance that someone as big as Jared would watch a video from someone as small as Larvesta, and focus on my main problem. Kurome, you didn't tell Umbrus why this was a useless point. You just said it was. And the sad part is that I agree with you, for there is a chance that Jared could have watched it. And likely chance, like I said earlier, but still a chance.
Santiago.
I can only name a handful of horror games that have genuinely terrified me over the years. Eternal Darkness, Sanity Requiem, PT.
But you know what was way scarier? Pixels. None of this polygon
what was the point of that? Like, really, you could keep your original videos curse words in. An example of this is Jonah. He did beep out the curse words when he covered the Dark Commentator, so why?
Well, Umbrus, some people just don't like swears in their video. It's as simple as that. This is such a non-issue.
And this isn't even in Jared's video. He just said bullcrap, which, mind you, isn't really a curse word.
Something you fail to show the audience, mind you. Why must I do everything myself?
But you know what was way scarier? Pixels. None of this polygon bullcrap.
Santiago.
Back when imagination was used to fill the void, and it was gruesome. You say? I just like 2 polygon-based games and no pixel games that scared you? Double standards are the best.
A rule or principle which is unfairly applied in different ways to different people or groups. Sorry, but how does Jared listed 2 games that don't have sprites they can have double standards? On top of that, Eternal Darkness and PT, which by the way, were just examples of games that Jared got spooked by.
The definition of double standards didn't help your point here, so that was beyond useless to read off.
I'm confused. How did this help him? Umbrus was calling Larvesta out for misusing the phrase double standards. And even then, Umbrus isn't even wrong.
Santiago.
Lots of context for the next point. Keep in mind that Kurome doesn't speed anything up at all.
Ever play Ski Free? This game was pretty much on every Windows machine in the early 90s. It was so relaxing. You ski downhill in one of 3 different courses. It was just super pleasant. You're feeling the fresh, cool air in your face, hitting other people, and doing sick jumps and jump flips for mad points.
This was the ultimate wind down game for Windows users. Okay, what makes this Yeti enemy scary? Honestly, Jared, making a speech towards self-segment like this is probably the laziest thing you can do in a countdown. Segments like these don't explain why a segment is on a countdown, leaving viewers confused as to what the world happened. Not only that, but in this case, the footage you show really doesn't do a good job at explaining why the Yeti is scary either. As it just shows the monster, who looks like something straight out of a 3-year-old's drawing, no less, chasing after your character and gobbling them up. And while yes, that is admittedly a little unnerving, the footage show just makes the Yeti come off as a random jump scare. Jump scare. Jump scare.
Well, there you have it, folks. He just said it would come off as a random jump scare. You do know that something that is scary is something completely subjective. Maybe the fact that Yeti comes out of nowhere, he comes out of nowhere, he comes out of nowhere, he comes out of nowhere.
A scary thing that pops out at you from out of nowhere? Like one of those jump scares?
That was Umbrus's point. Jared says the enemy is scary because it comes out of nowhere. Larvesta misses the point entirely. Umbrus reminds him that it's a jump scare, and you just repeat Umbrus's point. You are beyond useless here.
Santiago.
Also, oh hey Jokey still from Doodle Tones, how are you doing on this fine evening? And it's worse here since there's not much of a punchline here compared to the crashing sound effect Doodle used, so TLDR, learn to meme.
Your vague wording isn't clarifying which part was the joke you stole, hence why I skipped Larvesta entirely. Though if I had to take a guess at which part you were talking about, I'd say it's the part where Larvesta had an explosion background.
That does not validate your point in the slightest.
Now, mind showing the audience a clip of Doodle Tones to prove that you aren't making a BS claim? No? Oh. Okay then. Thanks for killing any credibility you had. Due to the fact that you have no clip, the audience has no reason to believe that you didn't make this up. Next time, show a clip.
Do I even need to bring up your shitty kill land intro skit again? I know hypocrisy doesn't make you wrong, but if you're aware enough to spot Larvesta doing this, it astounds me you weren't able to catch yourself doing it too, is all I'm saying.
Except for the fact that Umbrus was calling out Larvesta for stealing jokes, which could fall under plagiarism. Using kill land is not plagiarism. Seeing as how Umbrus said it was bound to happen at some point, which means that he knows that other people have already used it.
Shoot, now I am in kill land. was bound to happen at some point.
It's more of a trope than anything else. Stop comparing apples to oranges. It makes you look dumb.
So, Larvesta, I've been meaning to hit you for quite a bit now. Originally, this was going to be a commentary on his video on Phantom N, but then I found this on Keyblade Master's Discord server, and decided to go for this one instead. Please work on your presentation. TV is a nice idea, but too bad it looks like it barely escaped the hydraulic press, and just got placed into a photograph board. There was zero effort put into it.
Now, I'm not normally the one to complain about this, but you have so little images of Larvesta. You don't even have 10 or more images of Larvesta.
Having less than 10 images for an avatar is really not a big deal, and honestly did nothing to harm the presentation of Larvesta's overall video.
1, that is incredibly subjective. 2, it shows laziness on Larvesta's end because he could have saved more images. And 3, it shows how limited Larvesta's presentation is, and constantly having to look at the same images over and over again can become repetitive. And with that, the video ends. Okay, final thoughts. Starting with you, Umbrus. Umbrus, I don't have a lot to say about you, but if there's one thing I really feel like you should change, it's that you should probably show more evidence for your claims. Now, Kurome. Not really sure what to say, actually. All I'd really recommend is to pay more attention to the video and look it over a few times. Other than that, I just don't know. But that's all for today, guys. Goodbye. Kirby Star Warrior, I do not hate you, but you're wrong. Like, you're so freaking wrong.